ladies and gentlemen, friends, colleagues. Thank you for this very nice introduction, though it took some of my words from the beginning of my presentation, since I wanted to also mentioning my role being kind of a decade child, being in the decade since the very beginning, and also be one of those educated Roma that was mentioning by Soros at the beginning, that I believe that we can really contribute with our experiences, not only to this panel, but generally to the process of Roma inclusion that is being shifted from the national or from the decade of Roma inclusion member states to the European Union itself. Maybe starting with the Czech Republic, yes, we know that the Czech Republic actually, the Czech Senate stepped back or said that they don't want to bring any new policy paper or strategy to the place, but we also know that this is a kind of a political statement, and that there is a huge work behind the governmental office. That's okay, like this. Huh? That's actually providing a new strategy that's going to be presented to the Commission, and I believe that. That the Commission itself will play a very crucial role in assessing the strategies, because we know that since the framework is the clearest declaration from the European Commission, it needs to move beyond the rhetoric to the substance. It needs to secure political support at the national level, and only the solid implementation at the local level will make a change. And the result can be achieved only through the participatory approach and remedial efforts with special attention to the content and the coordination of the member states. And as far as I know, the Czech Republic will present its strategy to the Commission, which will be very closely connected to also using of the social of the European funds, which I found as one of the most positive aspects at the framework itself, that it's actually bringing together the strategies, the national strategies, with the use of the European funds, because we know from the decade experience that the funding itself was the most critical issue. On the other hand, I also see a negative aspect of the promotion of Roma inclusion within the framework, which lies only in the areas of health, housing, education, employment. And we also are missing this coordination, the strong coordination from the European Commission, and we are facing a huge, highly bureaucratic jargon in all the documents that are being presented to us. Because limiting national strategy only to these areas that we know from the decade, is limiting prospects for its success. Roma integration requires comprehensive as well as bottom-up approach. Unless we want to remain our policies with no impact, member states need to straighten it by addressing the so-called cross-cutting issues, covering at minimum the discrimination and gender equality. To be concrete, framework, in my opinion, I think it's not only in my, framework falls far short of tackling the widespread hostility and discrimination against Roma. Focusing on the economic integration, it fails to identify policies and actions to directly combat discrimination, stereotypes, violence, and hate speech. The recent deployment of situation in many EU countries, the intolerable physical and verbal attacks against Roma, already prove the failure of EU and national strategies. And in the same token, framework fails to address the multiple discrimination faced by Romani women. Although it should be one of the most critical issues of the national strategies, since the active engagement of Romani women is prerequisite in the areas such as child protection, education and healthcare, gender needs to be fully mainstream in each of the priority areas. And we know from the decade that if the gender equality is not explicit requirement, many states do not address the issue separately, and neither in other policy areas. So, in fact, the principle of anti-Gypsyism needs to be addressed, since, as I said, it's a prerequisite for all the other measures. We talk about the hostility and about the current situation in most of the countries, and until we tackle this, we really cannot achieve any real measure at the national level. But as I said, also the gender equality needs to be affirmed and reaffirmed until it becomes the common sense, and it needs to be done if we want the framework to have really the difference. 1 minute, oh good. Only by and for this, of course, we need the Commission authority, because the implementation of the national strategies will be ensured only when the Commission will make a strong pressure on the national states. The revision of the strategies in upcoming sprints is crucial. The decade already proved that beside initial agreements, other working methods and instruments motivating member states to enlarge the scope of activities. So there is a way of having thematically oriented working groups, workshops organized under the EU platform, as well as to bring the financial instruments that encourage the member states to act. I think that it's also very important that to bring the idea of course, the Roma participation. And decade play always very strong role in the sense, and the motto Roma can make it or break it, it's still very valid and it didn't lose its importance. And this is also the key role that the Commission should play here. And it goes together with the empowerment and active citizenship idea that it includes all citizens regardless of their ethnicity, and that we need to make sure that Roma are the equal citizens of Europe. Thank you.